it's me, the Witch of the Wilderness, and I am back with another video today, and this one is all about finding your path in witchcraft and Wicca. So that's going to be the topic for today's video. I'm currently trying to dread my hair. It's a little bit messy today. Not quite sure what else I can do with it. Anyway, my hair's a mess, but hopefully the video you will still find very useful. So, if you are first starting out in witchcraft and Wicca, then you may hear people talk about the path that they follow, and this might be daunting to you as a beginner because you may not know which path would be best suited for you if you want to follow a path, which path you want to take. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of run through the main paths that witches and Wiccans talk about following, just to see if it helps you to determine which path it is that you wish to follow yourself. So a path is the journey that a person will take as they practice in either witchcraft or Wicca. And there are lots of different paths that you can follow. And mainly people are drawn to the path that doesn't conflict with their interests. So it'd be something that they find interesting to learn about. So for me, it's divination. I love tarot cards, I love crystal balls, I love scrying, rune stones. I find it fascinating. I love doing readings. So for me, I would probably say I am more of a divination witch than any other type. However, you may be into herbs, studying herbs, so mugwort, sage, rosemary, all things like that all falls under herbalism. So you may wish to research how to gather herbs, prepare herbs, make herbs into, say, different tinctures, or use them in your ritual baths or cooking. And if cooking is something that interests you, then maybe look into the path of the kitchen witch, which is all about infusing the food that you make with love and magic. And this can be to do with the way you prepare it, the way you stir it, the herbs you use, the ingredients you use can all link into the different sabbats, and you can set intentions with your magic. There is also on the internet a kitchen witch's ABC, which goes all the way through to the letter Z, and it just gives a main component for each letter about what a kitchen witch is, so that could be quite useful. Green witchcraft is another common path, which is all about nature, honouring plants, reducing your impact on the environment, just little things that you can do to become more green and appreciate what nature has to offer us and to protect it for future generations. Meditation as well in green witchcraft and Wicca is quite often done outside with all the elements, so you may wish to meditate in a field or a forest. So, as well as green Wicca, there is also hereditary witchcraft, which is if you are not the first generation of a Wiccan or a witch in your family. So, it would be things like spell books that get passed down, recipes, tarot cards, spreads for reading tarot, your tools that you use, they may all be passed down, and incorporating that into your Wicca or witchcraft practice would make it hereditary witchcraft. And often everything is honouring your ancestors as well. That's another big part of hereditary witchcraft, because you are practicing their magic in a way, if that makes any sense at all. There is also Hoodoo, which I must admit I don't know a lot about. It's not something that I've heavily researched. I do know that people use herbs and things in what they call mojo bags. Hoodoo is not voodoo. Voodoo is a closed practice. There are a lot of arguments about whether to practice voodoo, and I'm not going to get into that on this video, but if you practice hoodoo, then please let me know some more about it in the comments. It is something that I am thinking about looking into more. There is also candle magic, so people write their intents with either sigils or carving words and symbols into candles that are chosen for their colour, then anointed with certain oils. Candle magic can be cord cutting ritual. That's another common use I'm seeing more and more for candles, is the cord cutting ritual, in which you have one candle that will symbolise you and the other candle will symbolise the person that you wish to cut ties with. You place them so they're facing each other. You wrap a cord around the two, and as the candle burns, it will set the cord on fire, and it will basically sever the ties that you have with that person. Some people wish to do this after particularly bad breakups or things like that, or just to remove a negative influence that keeps coming back into your life. Crystals as well. People who are interested in Reiki, meditation, the different chakras, the uses of all the different crystals, so tiger's eye, amethyst, quartz, rose quartz, labradorite, there's loads, selenite, any crystals that they can use in their witchcraft or to balance their chakras, they will do that. There is also another path which I'm not 100% sure on. I haven't researched this one a great deal, but this is called fairy magic. So I myself personally, I have had dealings with the Fae, and I choose rather that instead of working with them, I choose to just let them do their own thing. I don't choose to get involved with them. But people who follow the path of fairy magic will obviously believe in the Fae, in sprites, in imps, goblins, things like that, and they also believe, it's important to know this, but it's also that they believe that everything has a soul. So every rock, every tree, every ocean, every mountain, every spring has its own soul, and I think that's actually really beautiful when I think of that everything has its own soul. It just makes me look at the world in more of a magical way. I honestly, I don't know, I just love when I read about that, I just love it. You can also combine paths, so herbalism will go well with kitchen witchery, divination may go well with crystals, and there is also the eclectic witch or Wiccan, who is the one that most people will say they are, which is where you don't particularly tick any box. You dabble here, you dabble there, you may be into astrology and herbalism and nature, and there's no one set path for you. You dabble in all of the paths, sort of like jack of all trades, master of none, because some people say that choosing a path in witchcraft and Wicca is a little bit like choosing a major in university or college or whatever, so it's something that you find interesting. So if you are choosing one path, to go into, then that should be the main path that you focus on engaging with and researching. But if you're eclectic, then it's not so much, you just broaden your knowledge of everything that interests you, not necessarily stick to one path or topic. So if you are a beginner witch or Wiccan and you're struggling because you don't know which path to follow, research, think about what your interests are, where you live. Some people live near the sea and they are sea witches, and they honour the tides, they honour the offerings such as shells and hagstones and all sorts of things that are left by the sea. They make talismans out of them. There is literally loads of paths. So if you just think about your interests and things like that, then you can find your path. Another interesting point that I've saved till last is that you should also have a think about whether you wish to be a solitary practitioner, which I am. There is no real covens around where I live, and to be honest, I'm not exactly the most confident of people, so I would probably feel a lot more anxious in a coven than when I can practice at home on my own with no judgment of anybody else. However, some people may prefer to have a coven or a circle which they can call their brothers and their sisters, their family, and that to them makes them feel more in tune with their magic, and that's fine. If you aren't sure, certain covens will allow you to do sort of an open circle where you can go and see the coven and meet the members, and if you decide that actually you'd prefer to remain a solitary practitioner, then they won't take offence. But if you choose to join the coven, then you can be initiated into the coven. So that's another thing to think about. If you wish to practice on your own, or if you wish to join a coven in order to further your path and your magical knowledge. So yeah, that's basically the different types of path in Wicca and how you can go about finding your path. Really, the main thing is just to look inside your soul, what interests you, what would you like to learn more about, do you have a natural gift for anything, do you prefer to practice on your own, or do you prefer to learn off other people as part of a coven. So yeah, these are all just really important things that you need to think about. You can change paths. Don't think that, when I first started out as a witch or a Wiccan, I was a kitchen witch, and now I don't like cooking anymore. I can't stand to see a wooden spoon. My lasagnas always come out rock hard. I've lost the knack or whatever. It doesn't matter. You could look into a different path. You could look into green witchcraft or fairy magic or herbalism or divination. You don't have to remain on that one path. And a few people have said that's actually how they became an eclectic witch or a Wiccan. So one thing that you might not know about me is that I have a form of ADHD. I struggle to concentrate. I struggle to stick to one thing. I flit from one thing to another thing to another thing to something else, and then I forget what I was even started doing. So for me, I like to research and learn things in stages. So some people are the same as me, so they started out as a green witch and then they wanted a change or to move on to something else. a different path because they felt that they'd had enough of learning about that path and they wanted to change onto a different one. And that's absolutely fine. There's no set in stone, you know, you're not signing a legal agreement saying I will only practice this one path of witchcraft or Wicca. There is no right or wrong. You can study whatever you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want, so long as it feels right to you. Now I've completely forgotten what I was saying. I don't think there was anything else I needed to say in this video anyway, so I think that's a good point to end it on. Yeah. Maybe have a bit of better luck in the next video. Because I don't script these videos, it's all just done off the top of my head, so if I waffle or just go round in circles, then I do apologise. So yes, I will see you all in the next video. Don't forget to drop me a like and a subscribe because they're just warm, fuzzy hugs and they make me so happy. Yeah. Bye.